I got into MBA. I did from Great Lakes Institute of Management. There again, that's where I met my current co-founder Shankar. We are helping SMBs to solve their problem. So that was the thought process that we had. Netflix for education. Can we be that? But non-recorded live classes. And then Learner Circle kicked in. Allow them. Let them explore. If things work out, help them pursue it. Our center should never be at one place. It should be decentralized.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I am Sunny Pancholi, and today we are honored to have with us a true innovator in the fields of growth marketing and business analytics. With nearly 20 years of experience and an entrepreneurial spirit, Mr. Arun Nair has left an indelible mark across diverse sectors, including edutech and digital transformation. As co founder of two successful startups and recipient of notable awards such as the Online Learning Innovation Award and the Startup of the Year by Silicon India magazine, Mr. Arun Nair has a wealth of knowledge and insights to share. So, thank you for being here, Mr. Arun, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders.
Hey, thank you, Sunny. It's an absolute pleasure to be here on FaceTime with Leaders. And my sincere thanks to Directors Institute for this opportunity.
Great to hear that. All right. So, to begin with, as I explored your impressive journey, I came across several remarkable achievements and experiences I'm eager to discuss with you. So, to start with, Mr. Arun, with
Sure.
nearly 2 decades of experience in growth marketing and business analytics, can you walk us through some of the key turning points in your career and what specific roles or projects have truly shaped who you are today?
Sure. I think for that, we have to go to my college.
Great.
So, like most of us in early 2000, I think college shaped us a lot. So the hostel life, the people that you meet there, the learning started from there. The ability to adapt to various situations, right? So it started from there. And I think I got connected with some good set of friends who helped me introduce me to the world of business. So I started reading magazines. I started reading about entrepreneurs. That's when that entrepreneurial spirit, that bug bit me. So yes, so that's when I decided that, okay, but at that point of time, my knowledge was that to become an entrepreneur, you should do an MBA. So that preparation started. So after engineering, I got into MBA. I did from Great Lakes Institute of Management. There again, that's where I met my current co-founder Shankar. So yeah, so I go to Great Lakes for that. So GCT Coimbatore was for engineering and then Great Lakes. And after that in Wipro, a good learning. I mean, I think I got an understanding of bid management, understanding of how to handle proposal, how to engage with clients, IT services, typical IT services journey. And then UST Global, I think once I got into UST Global, the most important phase was when I won a deal with a leading bank in India. And I think it's very important because for the amount of homework that I did to win a deal, right? And I think for all of us, and when you do a systematic, we follow a certain set of process, and when you do a lot of things to achieve a particular goal, I didn't have anything in my mind at that point of time. And it was a very significant milestone for the company because we didn't have any other case study related to that industry at that point of time, a big case study, right? So that is one of the, that deal, winning that deal and setting up the team in India for that particular account was an amazing experience. I mean, the number of times, the number of challenges that we had gone through for onboarding resources to understand the requirement. It was like the first time mobile apps were being built in India for banking, and it has to be built with complete trust, right? So that was a great learning for me, and I think me getting digitally immersed into all these aspects happened there. And then I think I started my startup, yourfaculty.com. There again, I think it's bigger than an MBA university. You get to learn everything, right? The startup teaches you to swim. It's like literally throwing a child into the swimming pool. The child will swim, right? It was like that. I understood a lot of important aspects. I mean, beyond everything else, I think I understood cash flow is important. Rest everything you can keep it aside, right? Finally, the operations has to go. The train has to run. So it was an amazing journey. I met my one of my mentors during that phase. He we still talk to. I still talk to him. He guides me on certain aspects whenever I face some situations in my organization. And then I wrote a book during the process. Book is another way of expressing yourself, and that opens up your mind. Suddenly, you transform from a person who would be judging small things to a person who is very open to listen to a lot of people, right? You start observing, then talking. You start understanding what is going on the other side, right? So, yes, writing a book helped me. And then I met my current co-founder, Shankar, who is my classmate, and his wife. We were running a small digital marketing company, good client base both in India and US. We are helping SMBs to solve their problem to acquire customers. So growth marketing word, which is a very fancy word. 2017-18, we were trying to market that. So that was the phase where you were deeper into business analytics, trying to crunch data and give insights to companies. These are small players, their budget is always less, right? So, I mean, it will be so funny that someone will come and tell you, Arun, last month we spent, let's say, 1 lakh and we were able to acquire 200 customers. Do you think we can spend 2 lakh and acquire 400 customers? Right? So that's how anxious they are because their knowledge is limited, right? Their knowledge is limited on Facebook marketing, Google Ads, all that, right? So we take all that, we educate them. So it was a great journey. So trying to understand and putting ourselves in their shoes is very important, right? So that was my learning during that phase until COVID came. And when COVID came, we as a team, we were doing very well. And Spinny, the name of the company is Spinny, and we are doing very well. We as a team, we had a very open discussion with all the employees to understand what can we do now. See, digital marketing tap is closed. Customers are delaying payments now. What do you do now? And the best thing that happened was all the employees started giving suggestions. We could do grocery delivery app. Let's do something around it. We could do online cooking classes for adults. We could do yoga sessions because health is a problem now. Everyone is at home, right? Then suddenly it hit us. Can we be a Netflix of education? We can do everything, right? I mean, we are all at home. We only need a platform, a link for people to come and join. It can be run, we can run it. Anytime anyone can join, there'll be a workshop running. So that was the thought process that we had. Netflix for education. Can we be that? But non-recorded live classes. And then Learner Circle kicked in. We over a period of time, I think this has evolved us a lot. Learner Circle has helped me understand more about kids, understand how much value they see, the parents' value they see in such a product, no? So that's been it. I mean, if you let me talk, I'll keep talking. So this topic, Learner Circle, has changed our life. I'm not talking about money or anything. I'm saying internally, the amount of peace that it has brought in us, right? It is amazing.
Great, Mr. Arun. Thank you for the excellent start to this podcast. And since we were discussing about Learner Circle, thing or two, so let's dive deeper into it. So, as the visionary co-founder behind Learner Circle, a platform dedicated to helping young minds pursue their passions, so what inspired you to create this unique educational space? Was it just the COVID thing, or something else, or there are many things put together?
No, teaching was there in the blood somewhere. Okay, I love teaching. So when I was in 10th standard, 12th standard, I used to teach younger ones. Okay, so teaching was always there. So when I was in UST Global also, I used to take opportunities whenever there was some training, internal training programs that were there. Even while Wipro, I had taken. I was young, but still I used to go and take those trainings. So I used to run trainings for the organization. And I was also invited by colleges while in UST Global to come and do sessions on leadership, on soft skills and all that. So interview management and all that. So training was always there in the mind. It was there. Then I started yourfaculty.com. The intention was also training. It was a test preparation platform, which means people can come and log in and take tests. Ultimate intention was teaching. Until I think 2018, 2019, this thing started coming into my mind that I think there's too much of marketing around education, academics. Everyone wants to say, I want to. By then, this three idiot has gone into our blood too much also, right? So, yeah. So we all realize that we all talk about becoming a doctor, becoming an engineer. They are also important, but that talk was more. We see a lot of advertisements on TV around that. So I thought someone has to think beyond that, right? Someone has to think beyond education, B or MBBS. They have to think beyond that. So helping kids pursue their passion. So that was the thought process that I had. So someone would want to be a musician, but they will be forced into engineering or medical, right? Someone wants to be a cricketer, they will be forced into some unrelated field. So we thought the decision for taking something like this has to be on the child, right? If a child is good at it, they should be allowed to pursue it. And we also know this famous quote, like 10,000 hours of practice is required to succeed in in a field that you're interested in, right? So we thought, who can have that 10,000 hours? An adult at the age of 40 cannot have 10,000 hours to achieve something. It's not late, but still you've still passed a lot of time in your life, right? But a child actually has that time. So we thought early on, if we are having a platform that will let child explore various possibilities. I want to try music, I want to try singing, I want to try something on chess. Allow them, let them explore. If things work out, help them pursue it, right? Let them achieve levels, different levels of that. See how it is going. Someone might drop off after third level. It's okay. But allow them to pursue that. Okay, it will develop their brain, it will help in brain development in a significant way. So we thought, let's go for it. And when this 2020 COVID happened and my team was talking about it, we thought we should get into it. And we jumped into it. And after that, yes, it's been now 4.5 years. We have got wonderful, we had a wonderful journey, and we decided that we should have milestones for everything that we do. And that's how this offline events happened in Dubai and Malaysia. And now recently, 2 days back, we had in Chennai also. So it's like you show a milestone to the students also, right? You learn Bharatanatyam online, you do a Salangai Puja. You start learning chess, you are driven to become a FIDE rated chess player. So we have kids who are completed FIDE rating, we have kids who are taken Trinity certificate in music, kids who are completed Salangai Puja in Bharatanatyam. It's all a major milestone. Kids who have published book and launched. So yeah, very satisfying to say, but good so far.
So that was your that was your inspiration behind establishing a platform like Learner Circle. Now let's discuss the journey behind it. All right. So could you share how the journey of building Learner Circle from launching international events to onboarding around 300 tutors has shaped your goals for future ventures and your view on the role of education technology in today's world?
Correct. Yes. See, I think there are multiple parts to it because it's yeah, I understand now. But I'll break it into a few parts. See, I think I've already covered a little bit on Learner Circle, our journey, the thought process, and all that. Now I'll get into what happened in the initial phase, right? Like any startup, the initial phase was like running. Morning 4 o'clock, our day starts. Night 12 o'clock, the day ends. Okay. I don't even know when I would be sleeping. It was like that. Until a point where we realized that the whole system has to be taught like Indian Railways. Okay, there are everyday classes, there are everyday passengers getting into a train. You need a TTR who knows who are the passengers going to travel in that, right? You should have a engine driver who is the coach, who is the trainer. We started thinking on those lines and designed everything into rows and columns. The whole problem was brought into rows and columns. And we knew now that now only these pieces have to be automated to start with. See, initially we didn't spend on IT. So it was all Excel sheets, right? So after the second or third week, once this operation started running very fast, see, suddenly it caught fire. What I'm trying to say is, suddenly we were from a local train to we are running into a Vande Bharat, okay, going very fast. And to adapt to that, we cannot drop things down, right? I have to support my team because they are running left, right, and center. So I spent some time outside trying to understand how to structure the whole problem. Right? Me and my co-founders, we discussed a lot until it's finally stuck that it is exactly like a train. We only have to replicate what they do in train. And if Indian railways have solved it, we should solve it on a very small scale, right? I mean, the amount of passengers, the number of trains that are traveling, is such a huge thing, right? Huge problem to solve. So we only have to solve it in a similar way, and we transformed it. So what happened was we started building small systems, we used a low code platform to build an application on top of it. Okay. And it solved most of the problems in one shot because we started thinking on these lines, rows and columns, Indian Railways. We just thought that. Okay. And we started simplifying all the problems and we were able to solve them. And what happened because of that was student onboarding process became very easy. Okay. The batch management process became very easy because each batch is a train for us. Okay. And now it was next the tutor onboarding. See, when we talk about any business, it's about supply and demand, right? Now we know that there is some demand happening. Suddenly a problem came that will we have enough supply to manage this demand? Right? Because we need tutors to teach a different kind of courses. Some of the courses, let's say Bharatanatyam, no one in the team knows even a word in that, right? So it has to be tutor driven. So we recruited a tutor. We made sure that we worked with her and built the curriculum. We went deep into it. We built the curriculum. And after that, it was about replicating the whole process. Once we know that one Bharatanatyam tutor can help us recruit 3 other Bharatanatyam tutor, then it was only about replicating it. So we had a process and a framework was built. How many levels of interview we had to do before we onboard a tutor. So let's say a rough estimate, approximately 10% of our applications get converted. So if we get 100 applications, 10 get converted. So it was at that scale that my tutor management team, so we are a team now, tutor management team. So those kind of structures started coming in place. And then it was like, yeah, Vande Bharat. So we only had to relax and travel along with it, follow the process at the right place. So that's how it was. So I think the key was at that moment, we all coming out of, in the sense, let the problem be there. Let's sit out and watch what to do now. I think that was the key decision. I think it was good that we had 3 co-founders to discuss at that point of time. So we discussed and yeah, so we just managed at that point of time. And after that, it was all about the process. See, team will be always busy. It keeps going because the process requires human intervention. It keeps happening. And that's what it is. So yeah.
Great. Right, and the network of Indian Railways is one of the largest in the world, and I wish the same success to Learner Circle as well.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Great. So, Mr. Arun, with prestigious accolades such as the Online Learning Innovation Award from Entrepreneur.com, the GSV Elite 200 Award, and the Startup of the Year 2022 from Silicon India Magazine, your work has clearly made a significant impact, no doubt. So, what do these recognitions mean to you? And how have they influenced your approach to driving innovation and growth within Learner Circle and beyond?
Yeah. See, this is I think it certainly adds a lot of credibility and trust for the parents when they look at these awards. Okay, so it was very important. It was basically someone acknowledging that we are doing some service to the society and we are doing some transformation, and somewhere we are creating impact in the society. So at least it was somewhere we got that message. That was the most important thing. I think beyond these awards, if you have to look at it, we have this talk to the founders session with our parents who are our students. I mean, students, the parents, right? So I have had cases where one particular parent actually cried and told me my kid is a ADHD kid and she has been attending one-on-one shloka class with you and her speech has improved. I think that is the recognition or the award that I long for, right? Where out of so many kids, one kid, there is some impact that I could do, right? And cases where the kids win a chess award or a tournament, right? And the parent immediately calls us first, right? Now, a lot of parents are directly connected to me because of this one-on-one interactions that have happened. Because during the interaction, they'll say, "Hey, Arun, can you share your number to me?" I'll share. So they will directly call me. It's not like an organization where I filter out direct interaction, no? So they call me and they say that, "Thanks a lot, Learner Circle has helped me, help my child. Thanks a lot." They'll say as soon as they have won the award. The most important thing, okay, never in my life I thought I will enjoy Carnatic music or Bharatanatyam. Okay, never in my life. In Malaysia, when the kids were standing and they were performing, right? The Salangi Puja is a performance also. I literally cried. I don't know how that happened. I had it was a goosebump moment for me. Seeing parents all watching, so many audience watching, and my students performing on the stage, and I was watching it. I suddenly got goosebumps. And I looked at the tutor, she held my hand and she said, "Arun, relax." So I was hosting the show also. So I was hosting that event also. So I think those awards are very important. That certainly adds to the credibility because nowhere I can put this as a testimony and as a seal or a logo in my website, whatever I express now. But those logos, those awards are great. But I think the real award for me was when parents spoke to me about their kids' performance, or when ADHD, that scenario, right? The parents spoke to me. Those were all like the moments where I think the tutor spoke to me. Those were all the moments like I think I feel that there's some purpose to my existence, no? Our existence, the learner circle's existence in the society.
Great, great. It's absolutely clear that your work at Learner Circle is about much more than recognition, Mr. Arun. It's about making a real difference in education. Great. I'm loving this conversation. Very overwhelming, and even in fact, I was also getting goosebumps when you were sharing such great, experiences of yours, establishing Learner Circle and then growing it to where it is right now. Great. All right. So moving ahead, Mr. Arun, with an impressive journey of entrepreneurship and innovation, what future goals or aspirations do you have, particularly as you continue to expand your influence in the EdTech sector?
See, I think the platform or system as a whole, not just my own company. I think the mindset as a whole. I believe that pursuing your passion people have to go for that, right? I mean, now we see YouTubers making money, right? Now it's a creator's world now. It's a creator's economy now, right? YouTubers making money. People who can perform with guitar, they don't have to wait for an opportunity to perform. They are there, right? So keyboard artists, we are hearing many YouTubers becoming great musicians now. So I think artists. So I think um, the openness to explore new possibilities. I think that's very important. Not just as one company here, all the companies. I mean, rather than pushing a particular course or a concept onto a child, letting them to explore is very important. Letting them to go for trekking, letting them to go for uh, rock climbing, allowing them to explore the world is very important. I think that message has to go into all the entrepreneurs who are there in EdTech space. And setting up that platform is very important. And I believe that Learner Circle will be able to expand beyond what you're doing online, the long run, to activities which are more fun also off the field, like rock climbing or going for a mountaineering expedition with kids, right? And it requires a lot of mindset change for them from the parents also, because it means that they are away from the child for many months, right? Or perhaps many weeks. So those kind of expeditions also to help kids explore beyond all these things that we see, right? Uh, yeah, so that is the vision that we have. That the entire, not just Learner Circle. I'm saying if there's another company that is doing it, we will be happy to engage with them on some way, right? Some value add that we could. So that is how we are thinking this EdTech space should evolve. Yeah, beyond academics. That's the thought process.
So, Mr. Arun, whatever we have discussed till now, do you see yourself bringing this particular strategic vision into a boardroom setting, or perhaps guiding larger organizations in shaping the future of digital learning and corporate growth?
Yes. No. When you look at larger organizations, the gaps that you would generally face would be something around innovation and agility and adapting to the new trend. It takes some time for the organization to quickly shift and get it. I think from a boardroom point of view, what I would see myself is bringing that agility and innovation, that value add. That's number one. Number two, of course, learning with a purpose. Once you are into a corporate world, you should have the end in mind, right? So learning with a purpose, setting up goals so that the learning happens for all the employees, not just because they are going to work there. It's because it's important for them to know those things, right? Whether they are working in that particular organization or going out. It's very important that the company takes care of their employees in a certain way. So I think of all the experiences that I have had so far, things that are imbibed in me is about the long-term partnerships that you should have with employees, whether they're shareholders, whether it's external parties, whoever it is, right? So we should have that, bring that culture into them. That's very important. Number two is innovation. Number three is being very agile to the trends that are happening. Don't be afraid of new trend that is coming in. How can we adopt it into the organization? We do it in our organization, and I believe that is one thing that I've learned over a period of time. And last, I think being very ethical in whatever one is doing, right? I think that is something that can be taught also. It is not that it cannot be taught. So having a way for employees to be taught about ethical behavior, employees, the boardroom members, everyone, no? That's very important. I think that's one culture that we should, I would love to spread if I'm part of a particular board.
Great. Thank you for sharing those aspirations of yours, Mr. Arun, with us today. So with your extensive experience in scaling businesses and working across sectors like healthcare, telecom, and education, of course, how do you view the role of corporate governance in supporting sustainable growth? That is part A of my question. And in your opinion, what are some key governance practices that can help organizations maintain both agility and accountability?
Yeah, sorry. So that's a nice question. So see, one thing that I have learned being an entrepreneur is having a very clear and flexible framework for the organization, right? So one is that the governance is very good if you have a very very strong and adaptable framework. Okay, so on one side we'll have a well-defined policy, and so that there's accountability for each department, but at the same time there should be a flexibility so that the companies can pivot faster. So the pivot is the key word here. Um, generally companies that are large, right? they say that it's very difficult for them to pivot. But we have examples of large companies that have pivoted. So having said that, it's very important that that culture is there inside the organization. The resistance should not be there, right? So having a very clear and flexible framework is very important. Very transparent communication channel. That's the next most important thing, according to me. That's very important and that should be part of any governance in the organization. The next is the power center should never be at one place. It should be decentralized. That's again very important, because I've seen it, whether I'm there or not, the company has to run, right? Whether the organization has to be decentralized, and important decisions should be allowed for the key managers have to take it, and they have to move. So that brings a lot of confidence for them. That brings that accountability, and they'll know that this department can be profitable if I just run it like this, right? So that has to be there. What do you say?
It's a great perspective, Mr. So, in what ways have the insights from Directors Institute courses influenced how you approach corporate governance?
See, I think this independent director program. See, I'm a volleyball player. Okay, so when you are playing volleyball, right? What happens is our focus is always only on the ball. It will be sometimes on the other player on the other side, but never on the referee. Okay, so in the whole context, referee is very important, right? The organization will run, but I think the person sitting on the board, the independent director, I think the value that I found from this particular program is that we are finally the balancing force in governance, right? There is on one side, there is an objective insight that we provide, and also bring in that culture of accountability, right? So even though we are not in the organization, we are in the organization. So that learning that I got, and being a referee, not literally meaning as rude as a referee would be in a tournament, but being that person who's watching what is happening, from the top. You stand on the top, and you're watching what is going on. And when there is something, little bit of some deviation happening, you have a whistle. So you say that, stop here, let's try to analyze and take a course correction, right? So that I think is very important. I don't know if it literally matched with volleyball, but I felt that there is, during the course, I was able to relate the kind of case studies. I was really happy. I mean, we went through a lot of these case studies, and the having a right independent director in those cases, right, would have actually solved a lot of problems. Whether it was, I'm going to take some examples here. We studied about Sahara case study. We studied about Enron. So similarly, many other case studies that we went through. I believe the role of independent director, a right independent director, would have actually created that whistle, right? To stop. Boss, we are not in the right direction. I think you have to stop here. So I believe, I'm not saying whistleblower whistle. I'm saying someone who is controlling within a quarter. We know that there's some mistake happening. Let's review it. That review would have changed the game. So, and that would have saved so many shareholders money, right? Minority shareholders, especially, right? So many employment. So I believe that it's a wonderful. I mean, I think beyond other things, I can use general jargons, to be frank, like continuous learning, understanding industry trend, knowing the framework, governance framework. All that is fine. What does SEBI require for certain practices? Yes, all that is important. But as an individual, the role is so important that we on the other side are going to protect so many minority shareholders. Right? And India as a market has so many people who are dependent on such companies. They go by the brand. Right? I think it's very important that we bring that ethics into the practice. We bring that transparency. So yes, so I think that knowledge was amazing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Both the self-learning platform and the live sessions that we had, the case studies. Yes, and I go back and read about it. So it was amazing.
So,
And I think this is one key learning that I got from independent director course with your institute. So this is about the board balance, right? And I think that's a very, very important thing. Uh, Thanks to those case studies, thanks to those sessions that I had with you, amazing. I think that's a very important. I think the word means by itself, board balance, having the right set of diverse people. It's not that people from EdTech should be there in an EdTech company. It should be from different industries so that they share the knowledge. The process, the railway example that I gave, it came. It's not from EdTech, right? From for a tech company following a railways concept. It's basically that people coming from diverse industry actually can bring a different knowledge, can actually solve a lot of problems, business problems. Uh, yeah, so that is one. And I think a lot of things go well if the ethics is there. So I think ethical leadership is very important. And I think I'll stress it multiple times. That's the key. You can walk out of a deal if you see that ethics is missing in it. Just walk out. So we have done that. Okay, we don't go after deals if there is a little bit of element of ethics missing. We will not go after it. And we have walked out of such deals in the past. So I think that's very important. And when you do all this, what happens in the process is the employees and the organization and the key managers start loving you, and the sense of accountability will start coming into it, right? So I think in the long run, these are some of the things that are very important from an organization. Of course, all this with regular audit or risk assessment, whatever is that, those, I mean, every company has it. It has to be done stringently. That's all, no? So having a proper risk assessment on what are steps that you're taking, that's the last thing that you should have. And I mean, I think I gave an exhaustive list, but all are important, equally important. And I believe that, and I've learned most of them from this course also. So I believe that this is uh, a great point to have. And these are some of the important points that I think are necessary for an organization. Yes.
Great, great, great. It's really insightful to hear how those learnings have played a role in your governance approach, Mr. Arun. And your candid insights are greatly, greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us and share your journey with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. I think it was nice interacting with you. Thanks for bringing out some of the thoughts from my mind. Uh, Really loved it. It was like reflecting
Great,
my
great.
what was there in me.
And also, we at Directors Institute wish you continued success and all the best in your future ventures.
And thanks to Data Institute. Wonderful. I really loved the course and I'm still learning. I'm sure you have a long way to go. So you'll do great. Best wishes to Data
Thank
Institute.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that was Mr. Arun Nair with us. And that concludes our today's episode. We look forward to bringing you more inspiring stories and valuable insights from remarkable leaders in our next episode. Until then, keep pushing boundaries and finding fulfillment in your path. Thank you so much and have a nice time.